Hello everyone, I'm Lynda Kinkade. Welcome to CNN Newsroom. The United Nations Security Council has finally endorsed a path to peace in Syria. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry calls the agreement a milestone. Nearly 5 years into the bloody conflict, millions of Syrians have fled their homeland for safety in Europe, and hundreds of thousands have lost their lives in the bitter battle for control of territory. Friday's resolution fails to mention a future role for President Bashar al-Assad, even though the US and its allies have long argued Minister Assad must step down for peace in Syria. Earlier I spoke to Wael Aleji of the Syrian Network for Human Rights. He says peace can't be achieved in Syria if President Assad is still in power.
Assad is the main cause of the problem of the conflict in Syria, and therefore he cannot be part of Syria's future. Everything is possible in Syria without Assad, and nothing would be possible as long as he is still in power. This is a man who killed his people using chemical weapons, ballistic missiles, and other means of heavy weaponry. There is no way that peace and stability can be established in Syria as long as Assad is still in power.
Do you think the only reason... do you think the only reason this plan was approved was because Russia backs it, and it was the only way that they could push through with a plan that Russia was on board with?
Well, it seems that the Russians have been giving some conflicting messages from the beginning. They talk about a political solution, but in the meantime, they continue to back Assad, and eventually they sent troops on the ground, they sent their air force. So their real intentions are not really clear. Nobody knows what the Russians really want. They talk about a political solution, but their actions prove the opposite.
In terms of negotiations, everyone involved in this conflict should ideally be at the table. But who should decide which groups are terrorists and which are not?
Well, this is a very difficult question, actually, and I think the UN should step in. Syrians, it is very obvious that Syrians cannot do it on their own. Neither the regime nor the opposition can win this conflict by military force. Therefore, the UN should step in and step up its efforts. Eventually, ideally, Syria would need a long-term UN presence. This would include UN stabilization mission and UN peace enforcement mission.